it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Sunday, December 18th. So today we do have the moon moving out of Libran energy and moving into Scorpio energy. So I know that this is always a cringe-worthy time for the majority of people out there when the moon moves into Scorpio. A lot of times it's because it is a very dark element, very heavy, very intense. We do a lot of shadow work, not to mention the fact that the moon moving into Scorpio is going to give us a little bit of a flashback to Scorpio season, to eclipse season, for a good reason. We are in the final days of this last chapter as we approach the solstice energy, when we essentially clear the game board once again and start new with new contracts, new soul contracts, new timelines, new storylines. We do all the fun switch up stuff. Now we have to go back to eclipse season, back to Scorpio season to get hints and clues on what it is that we just closed out, we just ended, what this sad season was supposed to bridge the gap and shine the bright light on, make us hopeful, make us positive, and a little bit more wishful when it comes to conjuring up new dreams and possibilities for ourselves. And these final days of this last karmic chapter as we approach the solstice is going to be very deep, very probing, very transformative because of this moon in Scorpio. So expect a lot of pressure, expect a lot of intensity, expect a lot of epiphanies, changes, aha moments. You may be kind of pulled back into the realms of darkness just for a moment in order to gain a better perspective on what it is that you've been sitting in since Scorpio season, since eclipse season ended. So the moon in Libra is going to go void, of course, at 5:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be shifting into that Scorpio energy at 10:31 p.m. There are 11 different aspects here today, and 8 of them involve the moon. So we have the moon in Libra still, trining, which is a beautiful vibe, beautiful energy, with Saturn, the Lord of Karma, who is in Aquarian energy. We have Libran energy, Aquarian energy, both air signs. That gives us our lovely trine, which is a merging, a blending of energies. Emotionally speaking, we are up for the challenge. We are stepping up to the plate of the new roles and responsibilities that we have been trying to organize in our mind space, in our heart space, in our physical realm. Saturn, ruling over systems and structures and foundations, and Karma himself is kind of preparing us, giving us a light and fluffy middle ground perspective on what it is that we are walking away from and what it is that we are walking closer to. This is, again, Libran energy, so we're trying to keep the vibe light and fluffy and playful. We are understanding that we don't have to go from one extreme to the other, that the middle ground is the path in which we need to walk in order to maintain peace and harmony, balance, stability, as we make this very, very deep transformation. Mars is going to bump into the true node in such a way that would suggest that we are gaining a lot of perspective, a lot of information from our outside world on the path, on the direction that we are now taking. Mars does rule over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, even our anger, but he is retrograde, having this internalized journey in Gemini energy, the mental plane. As you may know, we've been in this Gemini energy since August. We went retrograde October 30th. And for the most part, we've been stalled out and blocked from making major moves in our physical realms. This has been a lot of inner realm transformation, trying to debate the pros and cons of our path moving forward, taking a good look at our energy management, recognizing where it is in our lives that need the time, energy, and attention the most. All for our growth, for our improvement, for our progress. So the information coming at us here today is likely going to support the direction, the path, the choice that we were leaning towards, or showing us where it is that we have to step away from the path that we were currently walking in order to contemplate a different direction for us. Now, the moon goes ahead and bumps into Neptune, which is going to make it a little bit hard to kind of see the path clearly, see the direction that we're supposed to take, realize our motivation and our inspiration in order for us to change up our direction and path, our mission and our purpose. It may be very hard to align with our higher self, with our intuition, in order to kind kind of sort out our thoughts and feelings. However, Venus is going to bump into Neptune shortly after, which is a beautiful energy. It grounds us out. Venus is in Capricorn energy, that earth energy. We're thinking logically and practically. We're not getting too ahead of ourselves. We are having this earth energy really ground us so that we can see things as they are and not for the way that we wish that they would be. Now, I talked before about how Venus is the lower level octave of Neptune. Neptune is our dreams, our creativity. It's where we get ideas, inspirations, motivations. It's where we're called to pursue a path, a meaning, a mission, a purpose. And this particular energy is a good one because with Venus, who rules over our lower level ego, wants, needs, and desires, we're able to actually open ourselves up, align with our higher selves. We're able to grasp a vision, grasp a dream, be downloaded with insight, and then we're able to actually bring it into our heart space, our head space, sit with it, cut away the fluff from what could actually be achieved, and get down to the nitty-gritty on building a solid foundation, a solid plan on how it is that we are going to move forward with this new inspiration, with this motivation. The moon goes ahead and sextiles the sun. Now, this is a beautiful energy as well. We have air and fire, and when air and fire work very well together, of course, the air is the mental plane, thoughts, communication, ideas, logic, practicality. We have fire energy, which is spark, passion, desire, excitement, action. The moon, of course, is trying to show us where it is that we have to kind of find the peace, the harmony, the balance in our lives. And the sun in Sag, of course, is shining a bright light on where it is that we desire to go. Now, keep in mind from about the 18th to the, let's say, 22nd-ish, we are going to be in the realm of aligning with the galactic sun, our galaxy center, around that 27th degree of Sag. So we're receiving a lot of insight, a lot of downloads. We are kind of riding high. There is a lot of support in the cosmos for us to tap into our imaginations, to tap into that visionary aspect that we all have, to really focus on what it is that we want for ourselves in moving forward. Now, the moon is going to bump into Mars in not the nicest way. We have some Libra and Gemini energy really kind of clashing here. The Libran energy, although divided, wants to come and meet in the middle. Gemini energy, very divided, wants to meet in the middle. So what's the difference between Libra energy and Gemini energy? Well, Gemini energy is a little bit more concentrated on what we want, what we need, what we desire, what we think is best, what our truth is, what we have to say. While Libran energy, typically speaking, puts all of the wants, needs, and desires that we have individually on the back burner in order to make other people happy. Definitely that people-pleasing energy. And what we're going to see here with the moon and Mars interacting in this way is likely a little bit of agitation, frustration, maybe even some anger arising because our wants, needs, and desires for ourselves are now competing with the, I'm going to say, inner obligations that we feel that we have to other people. So that Libran energy is always concerned with what other people may think of us or what other people may say about our choices or what, if we were to honor ourselves and put ourselves first, what others might have to contribute to our overall path, mission, and desire. Mars really doesn't care. Mars is, me first type of energy. And emotionally speaking, there does seem to be this clash between the choices that we're currently making, the direction and the path that we're choosing for ourselves, because it is in our best interest in order to follow that particular path, direction, or choice, versus emotionally, the insecurities, the fears, the doubts that are coming up for us when considering what other people may think or how our actions, by putting ourselves first and following the path that is best for us, may influence or impact or have consequences on other people. So the moon goes ahead and squares, which is a very conflicting energy, definitely full of tension, with Pluto. So Pluto is the great transformer who is in Capricorn energy, trying to show us where it is that we need to boss up and take control over our lives, where it is that we can't let the pain and trauma and suffering of our past dictate for us what is possible for our future. This is very much an energy, especially where the moon in Libra wants to be fair, wants to have balance, wants to have peace, wants to have harmony. We have to find that middle ground through the extremes. And Pluto is about to take us on a little bit of a trip down memory lane in order for us to remember when life wasn't fair for us. We do get caught up every now and then of kind of, stunting our own growth and blocking our own blessings, thinking that what is right for us may not be right for other people, and what is fair to us may not be fair to other people. And Pluto's like, hey, let me take you down memory lane and remind you of all the times that you put your own wants, needs, and desires on the back burner and how that actually worked out for you. Because it wasn't fair for you to be put in the situations that you had pain and trauma and suffering in. And it wasn't fair for you to constantly putting everybody else's wants, needs, and desires before your own. So maybe by this little reflective trip down memory lane, you can boss up and realize where, yes, okay, it's great to consider other people's feelings and other people's, I'm going to say, perspective on the actions that you're taking and how the consequences of your actions may influence them. But at the same time, as long as you're standing true within yourself, as long as you're in alignment, being raw and vulnerable within your own truth and taking control over the aspects in your life that you didn't have control over, then how can that be wrong? It's almost like we're getting a tough love life lesson right now on where it is that we have to stop being so concerned with other people and start being a little bit more concerned with our own health, wealth, and happiness. So at 5:36 p.m., that's when the moon goes void, of course. And what's interesting is at the exact same time, we have Mars making a very, very complex interaction with Pluto. So we have the god of war and the god of the underrealm meeting up in this awkward energy exchange. And what we get here is what I'm going to say a total beat down of one of the choices, paths, decisions that we were currently contemplating, and a total rise up of the other. This is providing us a lot of clarity, but it's likely not going to feel good. And of course, that's when clarity comes the most, is when we have to sit in emotional chaos. Now, Mars is retrograde in Gemini energy. Pluto is in Capricorn energy. So air and earth are the furthest elements away. We have this want, need, and desire to take power and control over our lives, over our physical realms. And Mars, of course, has been stuck in this internalized journey, debating the pros and cons of our direction, our choices, our path, our decision. Earlier in the day, we would have been presented with some aha moments with external situations, information, details coming at us that would have pushed us into one choice, one path, one decision over the other. Mars interacting with Pluto in this way is going to rile us up. We're frustrated. We're angry that we can't take action. But what we are seeing is a true transformation in our inner realm, where it is now that our inspirations are leading us, where it is that we're motivated to put ourselves first, where it is that we're identifying our passions, our desires, even our anger, because anger at our current circumstances and situations is the strongest emotion that we should be paying attention to, because anger is showing us where it is that we don't feel like life was fair, where we don't feel like we are putting ourselves first, like there's some kind of injustice there. And of course, we have to sit in that funk in order to see the light. And from that, we have a total shift of the heart, total shift of our mindset, total shift of the direction that we are now going to walk and now going to take. The moon moves into this void, of course, energy. And of course, when the moon is void, everything is shaky, everything is unstable, a lot of fears, a lot of doubts, a lot of insecurities come up. The shadow realm of Libran energy comes up, which is passive aggressiveness, indecisiveness, again, people pleasing, being far too concerned with what other people want, need, and desire, what other people want, need, and desire to be happy, and really putting our own wants, needs, and desires on the back burner because of it. Now, lucky for us, we do have the moon in Libra being void at this particular point in time, making a very, very positive aspect with Neptune, who of course is in its place of power in Pisces energy. This is almost like we're pulling back. We're a little bit more introverted. We aren't as, out in the world as we were with these last couple of days of having the moon be in Libra, being chatty Cathy and just wanting to have that communicative exchange. We're now quieting the mind. We're quieting the heart space. And what we're getting here is a strong connection with our higher selves, with our intuition. And what it is that we are gaining from that is a little bit of insight, a little bit of a vision, a little bit of a dream on what it is that is now motivating us and inspiring us to do better, to be better, to want better. And of course, the last couple of days of having the moon in Libra energy was illuminating for us where it is that we were stuck in extremes in order for us to find that middle ground. And that middle ground now is becoming a little bit more accessible, I would say, because of our ability to quiet the mind, quiet the heart space while the moon is void, and really allow our intuition, our higher selves, to be able to paint a picture for us that we should hold in our heart space, hold in our head space as the mission, as the purpose in order for us to pursue. The moon, still void, bumps into Venus, its ruler. Venus rules over Libran energy. And this is a positive interaction, which means that this little, I'm going to say, reflection time, this introspection time that we're going through while the moon is void is really helping us because we're being able to identify what it is that we actually want for ourselves, what makes us happy, what it is that brings us a sense of joy, a sense of pleasure, what it is that would provide us safety, security, stability. This is really trying to identify in our lives where it is that we need to be more grounded, where it is that we need to build a stronger foundation within the relationship with ourselves, within the routines of our day-to-day life, within our relationships with other people, within our finances and our money matters. This is like, instead of, being in a direct situation where the moon is emotionally putting us out there and trying to be the middleman and trying to negotiate and trying to compromise, with the moon now void, it's like we're not putting ourselves out there. We're bringing ourselves in and we're sitting with ourselves and we're really trying to identify what it is without, even opening the blinders up to what other people may think or what other people may comment on or have opinions of. We don't really care about that. We're really trying to get down to the nitty gritty on what it is that we want and need for ourselves. So the last aspect of the day is the moon still in Libran energy, just moments before it shifts into Scorpio energy. It is an interaction with Jupiter. Here's why this is interesting. First of all, Jupiter is about growth, expansion, beliefs, blessings, abundance. He's in his final degrees of Pisces energy. This is why we've been kind of stuck. This is why we've been stagnant. This is why we're heavy in emotion. This is why we are experiencing the endings, the closing out of soul contracts, and in the midst of trying to begin new ones. This is a very intense energy. And this interaction is an awkward one between our emotions and our unconscious self, which is the moon, and Jupiter, which is trying to shine a bright light, magnify where it is that we've gone through a whole hell of a lot of spiritual lessons in order for us to grow spiritually, in order for us to open up our heart space, in order for us to open up our mind space, in order for us to actually be tested in ways that would show us what it is we actually want for ourselves, what it is we actually believe in, and what it is that we actually want to pursue from here. So even though the moon is void, it almost, quiets our emotions, quiets our intellect enough in order for us to kind of rise up into our higher selves, align with our intuition, and see the tough love spiritual lessons that we've gone through and that we're about to wrap up from a totally different set of eyes. And what that should be illuminating for us right now is where we have to pull back the reins from letting other people dictate what is right for us, and where it is that we have to kind of step on the gas, so to speak, on putting ourselves first and doing what is right for us in order to make ourselves happy.